Hi friends, me from Figma here with 11 things that just make sense when making presentations in Figma Slides. So let's go. Number 11, background contrast. When making a slide and changing the background color, if you have black or white text in the foreground, it will automatically adjust to fit the contrast with the background. So notice here, as I'm changing the background color with the color picker, when I have a darker background, it will change the text to white. When I have a lighter background, it will change the text color to black. I think that that's pretty great and also a win for accessibility. Moving on to number 10, templates. Whenever you create a new slide, you'll see the template picker. Here I can choose from some of the available slides within the Light Slides template by Figma. When I click that back button, I can browse other slide deck templates. When I click on one of them, I can see the available slides within that template. Let's click back. I'm gonna choose University Course Syllabus template. I can browse and see what's there. I can click on one of those and you'll see the slide has now been added to my deck. Over here, I can see the template style. I can remix template colors. It looks through the available template colors and applies them to all of the elements on the slide here. I can even go back to one of my other slides and I can apply the university syllabus template there, and I can even remix that one as well. So you can see that I have these two lined up. If I select them both, I could remix them in tandem with one another. Now, what's included in the template is going to be a typographic hierarchy. So you can see that I have my title, header, subheader, body, and caption, as well as when I click on the colors, you will see the available colors in the template that it's using to remix through those slides. Once again, I can click here, go back to the Light Slides template and see how that's then been applied to those slides. And now it's time for number 9, grid view. In Figma Slides, you can choose between slides view or grid view. When you go into grid view, you can navigate around with an eagle eye view of all of your slides. You can easily create new rows. You can create new slides and map out your entire presentation. I can hold down the shift key, select a whole bunch of slides here, add them to this above row. I can move this row down or up. It gives you a lot of options that just make sense when you need that holistic view of your presentation. The shortcut key for this is going to be Shift period. So when I press Shift period, it goes to grid view, Shift period back to slides view, Shift period back to grid view, Shift period back to slides view. All right, let's move on to number 8, slide numbers. This was a very requested feature in Figma Slides, having the ability to add slide numbers. I'm going to come down over here to the inserts menu. You can also press Shift I. You'll see the option slide number. I can click on that and it will allow me to add a slide number to my deck. I can select it. Let's make this a little bit larger. Let's move it to the corner. Now you'll see some options when you select that slide number. You could choose count. So whether or not you want it to count all of your slides or only the slides within the row, I'm going to leave it at all slides. You can have it include the total. So here you can see I have 12 total slides. And now if I want to apply this to all of my slides, I'm going to click add to all slides. Now let's go back to grid view and I can see that all of those numbers have been added to my slide. So even as I move this object around from slide to slide, it will be aware of its current number. Now, if you want to change that formatting, I can come here, I can click, I can change that formatting, then reapply it to all my slides. And you'll see that it has then been updated across my entire presentation. Let's go back to slide view and talk number 7, multi-edit. Multi-edit gives you the ability to edit the same thing across multiple slides at the same time. Let's go back into grid view. Let's say I want to multi-edit these slide numbers. With them selected, I can come over here. You're going to see the select matching layers option. It's going to find all of the matching objects there. And the way that multi-edit works is as you make adjustments, as you make alignment, as you change properties, it will proliferate across all of the objects that you have then selected. If I press delete, I've just deleted all of those slide numbers. You can select objects across multiple slides, even if they don't match up, and move them around together. If I want them to be aligned to one another, I can choose these alignment tools. If I want them to be aligned to the page, I'm going to hold the shift key. And when I choose those alignment tools, they will then all move on that page. A great example is if you want to edit footer text across many slides at the same time. Let's say I have this text here. You can see across those multiple frames. I can choose multi-select. It will select it across those frames. I can bring it up here to the top. If I want to make changes, you'll notice this option with that text field selected to multi-edit text. The shortcut key for that is Enter. Now, when I edit this text, the other slides too will be updated. So I can change this to Miggy from Figgy slide deck template. Because they're still selected, I can move them around together and align them exactly where I want those to be. If I want to bring it back down to the footer with multi-edit, I can easily do that. I'm going to move these around with my arrow keys as well. Hold down the shift key and navigate that. And that's looking pretty good. Let's move on to number 6, components. First, let's go into grid view. And let's also go into design mode down here. So we're in design mode. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a component that's going to have a slide number that is going to be a footer that's going to persist across all of our slides. So the purpose of components is to make something that is reusable. So then that way you can update it in one space and then it proliferates everywhere. Let's begin by coming here. I've pasted in a Figma logo that I had in my clipboard. I'm going to press the T key. I'm going to type in presentation on slides. Let's choose a template style. So I'm going to choose header 3. And let's also go to the insert menu and add in a slide number. So I have these 3 elements. I have the logo, I have the text, and I have the slide number. I'm going to select all 3 here. I'm going to press Shift A. That's going to create an auto layout frame. And with the auto layout frame, I can adjust the sizing. And now we're going to create this as a component. So with that auto layout frame selected, I'm going to come over here to the top right and I'm going to choose create component. That's going to make this into a component. I'm going to call this footer component. And now I can copy this. And you'll notice that the slides number is represented as this hyphen here, but as it gets added to the pages, so if I select all of my pages in the presentation that I have and hit paste, you will see that the instances of that main component have been added to all of those slides. So now with this main component, if I make any changes, if I select the center text there and press the left key, or if I select the slide numbers and I press the left key over a few times, that is then going to update across all of my slides. Another thing that is great is this makes it easier to work with multi-select and multi-edit. So I can select those matching layers and I can move this around. If I make any changes to the text itself, let's say I adjust the style down to header 1, header 2, I change it down to body, you can see that then applies everywhere. So Components are going to give you the opportunity to create reusable elements across your entire presentation. And when you update them, so I'm going to click in here to my main component, I'm going to make some of those adjustments. I'm going to move over the slide number. You will see that it then updates across all the frames. If I want to adjust their alignment, we're going to use multi-edit. We're going to select them. The instances of the main component are going to make that a lot easier to multi-edit. You can see here how much time you can save by being able to use these components along with multi-edit. All right, let's take a look now at number 5, speaker notes. Speaker notes can be added in Figma Slides very easily. When you come down here, you can choose show presenter notes. You can add presenter notes here. So let's say that I should talk about presenter notes here. And when you go into presentation mode, you will have an option of present plus notes. When I click on that, what that's going to do is give me a window that's going to show my presentation. And so if I'm using two screens, I can place this window on that screen to show the whole presentation. And then here I will have my speaker notes. You can also update your speaker notes right in this mode as well. When you click up here, you can view notes only or see slide and notes. And once again, you'll have a second window that you can use for the presentation. This is great for when you have your laptop and then you have that second projected version of your presentation. Let's take a look at number 4, video. Education teams are going to give you the ability to add video to your presentations. You can see here I have this video of a puppy on a green background. I dragged it in. As long as the video is MP4, MOV, and is under 100 megabytes, you should be able to add it to your presentation. Now that I've added it to my slide, I can click the preview and get a sense of that. You can see here that there is a video player. I can scrub the video. Now, when you go back to slides mode, you're going to see video settings that are going to give you the ability to control how the video shows up in your presentation. You can set the video to loop, you can set the video to autoplay, you can choose whether or not you want to play sound, and you can choose whether or not you want playback controls. Let's turn that off. Let's give our presentation a preview, and you can see here when this slide is playing that the little puppy is doing its thing. We can change those video settings once again, and I can set it to show those playback controls and then represent the presentation. And you'll see now that we have the video playback controls in the presentation mode. Speaking of presenting, number 3 is present mode. The thing that I want to talk about most when clicking and going into present mode is that there is an option here to make your presentation available offline. Let's say you're concerned about internet connectivity. If you want to make sure that your videos are going to play the moment you land on that slide, making your presentation available offline, as long as you keep that tab open, you'll be able to navigate your entire presentation, your video will play accordingly, and everything will be good. Another thing that you can do here when you're in presentation mode, you can share your presentation and you can copy an audience link. So if you want to share the link with your audience, so then that way they can follow along with your presentation, that is going to be something that just totally makes sense. Let's move on to number 2, live interactions. If you go into slide mode and come down here to the live interactions menu, when you click on that, you're going to see various options. So you can add in a poll. So you can be like, how are you liking this presentation? And you could throw in options, love it, like it, it's okay. When you share your presentation and folks are inside your presentation on this slide, they will have the ability to vote within the poll itself. Let's take a look at another live interaction. I'm going to choose the prototype. So here in Figma, I have an existing prototype that I would like to add to my presentation. Let's say it's going to be a formal critique of something that I was working on. Let's click on prototype. Let's find the prototype that I had within my team. It is currently loading it into the page. Now, when I go into design mode, I could easily move it with like the X and Y position if I want to get it to the exact space. I can also adjust its size. At this point too, I'm going to highlight that the layers panel down over here where I am, you can actually select that embed and have a little more control over it. So let's move our poll over here and let's adjust where I have this prototype. When I click to present mode, I can then see the poll. I can vote in the poll. I could make sure that the results are either hidden or revealed so I can see what other people are saying. And then here I can actually interact with the prototype. I can navigate into those sections and scroll and move through it as a way to demonstrate and have the audience interact with it as well. Now, let's go down to number 1. Smart Animate is an option in Figma Design. It's a prototyping tool that allows you to easily animate between frames. So here in Figma Slides, you can animate between your slides. Let's head on over into grid view. We are also in design mode, and let's say I want to animate through the progression of this slide here. So let's press Command D, Control D if you're on Windows. I'm going to press this 4 times. So Command D, Command D, Command D. Let's take these 4 slides and move them down into their own row. I'm going to select this first bit of text. I'm going to hold down the Shift key and the space bar to drag it just outside of the frame. Now we're going to do that again here. I'm going to hold down the Shift key and drag it so that 1 shows up above. Now here, I'm going to hold down the Shift key while I drag this so we see smart. And then here, we're going to leave it with all 3. We're going to create an animation progression through all of these frames here. Now I'm going to select 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to press Shift E. Shift E is going to take you into slide transition mode. I can click this. I can choose the style. I'm going to say Smart Animate. You're going to see a number of different options available, such as dissolve, which is like a crossfade, push, slide in, slide out, move in, move out. Those are common transitions that you'll find within Figma's prototyping as well. We want Smart Animate. Here, we're going to choose an ease in and out curve, and we can choose how long that animation takes place. Let's set this instead to 350 milliseconds. Now, this is being applied to the slides that we have selected. You can choose to have it applied to all slides, but just be mindful that Smart Animate will only animate between objects that it recognizes that are named similarly across those frames. Let's take a look at how this comes to be when I go into present these slides. We start off with an all white slide, then we have 1, then we have smart, and we have animate. How cool is that? Now, as we close out this lesson, let's go back and make some edits. I'm going to select frame 12, hold the Shift key, and select 13, 14, and 15. Next, we're going to press the Enter key. That is going to select the contents of each one of those slides. I'm going to head over to design mode and choose multi-edit text. That's going to allow us to edit the text across all of those frames. We're going to change this to 01. I'm going to press Shift Return, Happy, Shift Return, Designing, and put in an exclamation point. So this is going to have us close out the presentation. Let's hold down the Shift key as we go across all 4. Let's go to Animate. Let's click on Smart Animate and change the easing to be quick. Now that we've set this up, let's add in a slide to remind us about Smart Animate. Let me move up here to the top right corner. And let's do a quick recap of everything that we covered today. So here are the 11 things. 1, background contrast, giving you the ability to change the background color that then updates the foreground color if you're using black or white text to better see the text on the slide. Number 10, templates. You can use existing templates. You can publish your own templates. You can mix and match slides across templates. Templates are going to be a composite of layout, color styles, text styles, as well as grid styles. Number 9, grid view. You can swap between grid view and slide view with the shortcut Shift period. Slide numbers. You can add slide numbers from the insert menu to add and update numbers across all of your slides. Multi-edit. Multi-edit gives you the ability to edit selected objects across multiple slides. Number 6, components, giving you the option to create reusable elements across your slides that can be easily updated from a main component that then goes out to all of the instances or copies of that main component. Speaker notes are going to give you the opportunity to take note of all of the things you want to say in your presentation. 4, video. You can add a video, you can have it loop, you can choose whether or not you want to have the player show up. It's going to be great for demonstrating all of the things in your presentation. Present mode. Presentation mode is going to give you the ability to share your presentation with an audience. You can leave comments. You can have folks follow you as you move along in that presentation. You can even download all of your slides so then that way you can present without an internet connection as long as you leave that tab open. 2, live interactions. You can add voting. You can add polls. You can add interactive prototypes from Figma design. And 1, smart animate. Smart animate is going to give you that opportunity to animate across many slides. And as always, happy designing. Hope you all enjoyed this presentation today. I enjoyed making it. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments and be sure to like and subscribe for more Figma for Education content. Take care and happy designing.